Hey, 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 welcome back to Drive Time. I am your host, Craig Pasta Jardula, and we do it live, bringing you all the hot takes, headlines, and unfiltered opinions that matter most. Whether you're stuck in traffic, cruising to work, or just chilling at home, we want to hear from you. Today's topics are all about the big stories making waves, but we're not just here to talk at you. We want to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and your take on everything from the latest political debates to the everyday challenges we face. Remember, whether you're on the left, the right, or somewhere in between, we welcome all points of view. So grab that hands-free device, dial us up, and let's dive into the conversation. What's on your mind? It's Drive Time. Call in now. Good morning, lovely people. How you doing out there? Welcome back to Drive Time, which, of course, is your time. Good morning. God, I'm getting up. This is episode 17. This is a show that I created with my good friend Sleepy J, so I can wake up early every day, keep me consistent, change my habits because I don't want to be that night owl anymore. I like to wear my sunglasses. Sleepy J, how you doing?
Good morning, everybody. I'm all right. Got a bunch of sleep. I'm ready to go.
He's groggery Gorgain.
I'm awake now. My coffee finally kicked in a little bit.
He's no longer groggy. He was groggy. And that's going to be his new name, Groggy Gorgain, which is like a little spinoff on Game of Thrones from Gregory Gorgain. Josh's Groggy Gorgain. Like that? I know you do that. Josh, episode 17 today, we'll have Nico House on because, of course, it is a Tuesday. I got the orange shades on. So I'm going to talk a little Knicks, of course, because we got to get that out of the way. Me and Nico are Knicks fans. My good friend Matt Weinglass, I had him on the Truth Wire yesterday, and it's like a typical LA Laker fan. He hated on my Knicks, talking about people rioting, fighting in the streets, like it was specific to New York.
To be fair, it reminded me of Raiders fans a little bit. So I
was going to say, you ever go to a game in Oakland?
Unfortunately, yes.
Look. All right, listen, I'm going to say this without being disrespectful. I'll try to say it without being disrespectful. Have you been to a game in Dodger Stadium in L.A.?
No.
All right. There are some peeps out there you just don't want to fuck with. I've walked out of the stadium with a Mets jersey on and been told in a certain slanted accent to get the fuck out of there. And I don't know who told the guy that they used to call me Holmes when I was younger, but he knew. And I was like, all right, we're gone, man. Get the fuck out. I mean, there's people who've gotten stabbed at San Francisco Giant games, at Dodger games. It's not specific to New York. Do I like it? No. Did I think it was fucked up? Yes. But even what Shaq and Barkley said is like, there's always going to be idiots. There were going to be idiots anyways. They're looking for an excuse to be an idiot. You can't take away from what that New York team did. And I know a lot of people out there like, This is kind of crazy because it started a show, and the majority of the people who were listening, they were hanging with me with what we're talking, politics, news, and all that other stuff. So I know they're not crazy about this, but I got to go experience it and go watch it with fam up in Orlando. It was just amazing, man. It was just it was a historic run what they did, and it's a good character team. I mean, there's so many things about this whole thing that make this special with this guy who is our MVP. His name is Jalen Brunson. He went to University of Villanova. He was the 33rd pick in the draft. They said he was too small, too slow. And now they're having talks like this guy's one of the best players in the NBA, and what he did was pretty fantastic. And that city was just hungry. 53 years for a title. And I get it. Bread and circuses, Sleepy J. Bread and circuses.
Hey, look, man, I participate in bread and circuses too, or I'll go fucking insane. I just tend to play games and shit instead.
This Knicks game has made me a better person. I'm not going to judge you for watching your stupid Netflix shows. Watch them. I'm not going to hate anymore. I'm more understanding now.
Look, man, you got to unplug occasionally or you'll go fucking insane. It's true.
So what I did to start the show, though, today was what's great was while the timer was going down, I sat down. Y'all, this is a cool show, but you don't get to experience what Sleepy J gets to experience. He gets to experience me sipping that first sip of coffee. When the whole face changes, it goes, oh. Which, by the way, I'm going to go down to Nicaragua and get some really good coffee. I'm going to have my own coffee brand for this morning show. Not really so much for the morning show, just in general.
Hook me up.
There's all these markets that have opened up in Nicaragua. Nicaragua is so great for the capitalism, socialism discussion, right? Because markets do exist, and there is something beautiful about that, right? Like there's something great about being in San Juan del Sur and, up just so early, and this guy's loading his car with a cooler with a bunch of fish that he's about to drive a couple hours on the other side of the country to go sell. Because now there are roads that he can get through and get to that. And that guy who needs it in that restaurant over there, or is just little shack he's selling right off the side of the road, ceviche or whatever, and that guy can get it to him. And that kind of exchange. And that's what your life is. Like, okay, he gets up, goes out, catches fish, and goes and sells it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's hard work, yes, but fucking something beautiful about that. The whole exchange, markets existing is important. And when we have this talk about capitalism, socialism, when I talk to, a lot of my conservative friends who are just like hard stop, no socialism whatsoever, right? Like I explained to them, like, well, you're kind of looking at it with this American lens on, not these orange New York Nick lens that I got on, folks, but an American lens that makes you think that it's more about control and less about collectivism and coming together and helping people like a community. But every single time you talk to one of those guys, right, what do they want to do? Want to live off the grid in the community. Yeah, that's called
good luck getting water.
Right?
Dude, all these off-grid people, they discover pretty quickly that, there's not water in every single land plot. Actually, there's not water in most of them, so you're fucked. You still got to truck in water and shit.
Dude, there's also something, too, about, like, talking about markets opening up and talking about energy and oil and stuff. Like, there's so many people on the left who think that, like, gasoline is just about burning off fuel into the environment, and it's done nefariously.
Plastics, it's fertilizer, it's helium, it's all kinds.
It's lights for grandma at night and heat for grandma in cold areas. You know what I'm saying? And like electricity for kids and stuff. And like it means it's right. Sleepy.
Yeah, I mean,
there.
I'd
fill in the blanks because I had a little, little soda water burp. Sorry.
I don't think we need to, process as much of that shit out of the ground as we do. But I mean, look at all landfills; they're covered in plastic. We need to go back to glass and stuff for certain things.
Yeah, the plastics. It is a petroleum product, so that's. See, how do we start talking about the Knicks and end up like gasoline is a petroleum product? This show is going to be crazy, guys, but it's going to be done. It's going to be done with you. And like I was just about to say, like I sat on my phone, I started looking, I started sharing. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Sent the link and a good morning text to my friend. They say good morning to the cat for me, the gato, because my friend, she gets up and she goes and makes her coffee and she feeds the cat. The cat waits and they have coffee and cat food in the morning, guys. This is Drive Time in the Morning, episode 17. We are rolling right through. We're almost getting through a month into it. It is great. I can't thank you all enough. And it is Tuesday, so you know what that means. Joining with me, my good friend, my brother, our token black guy, ladies and gentlemen, Nico House. Now, can you imagine if I said that on WBAI, Nico? I get this is like no wonder why you ain't got more shows, Pasta. Good morning, Nico.
Do I sound okay? I don't sound like a chipmunk, do I?
Nah, you're
good. You
good.
Sound okay, but you look beautiful, my man. You look like a champion.
You know what? You looking like a champion too. If I do say so myself, I like those glasses. What color are those glasses?
I like that shirt, Nico. I like the sleeves, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I got it out here in Brazil.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." They don't make stuff like that in the U.S. But what color would you say those glasses are, Pasta?
They're orange. I got the orange mug, the orange glasses for you.
No, I think that that's called championship orange now. I
think
that's called championship orange.
Oh my
Lord. That's called championship orange now. We are the champions, my friends. Oh, I got to give a shout out to Pasta. Pasta said 5. He did say 5. Right. I said 6. And damn it, we were both almost right, to be completely honest with you. I was almost right too, because those games were close. But I will be honest with you guys. I didn't lose the faith one single time. Like when we were down by 22, I was like, "Oh, we're just about to break another record." Because that's what we've been doing all playoffs.
You know what? Even when they were down 29, I didn't count them out. I thought it would be really tough for them to come back and win, but I didn't count them out because that's what literally every single game against San Antonio, they got down by double digits and they came back and they chased them down and beat them down, right? You know, they
Yep.
knew what the game plan was. Let the energy and youth get out there, but then all of a sudden they'll get sloppy. They'll start missing a couple shots. The doubt will creep into their heads, and we know that we will catch them and beat them in the end. And big ups to Jalen Brunson. I mean, Nico, one of 5 players to score over 40 points in a closeout game. I remember Jonas's. Now, I tell people I don't gamble too much, and I really don't. I used to gamble. It was like my bug when people had their problems. Like I had a serious thing coming out the gate, 14 years old, betting on football games. It was bad.
At 14?
At 14,
Damn,
I started betting on
That's
football.
crazy,
games.
bro.
Yeah, well, I made a deal with this one guy. They had the football cards because there was no internet back there. There was no computer in your hand on the phone. So many things were done by, you know, like buggy whip and whatnot, moving it around. But no, there was these things called the dummy cards, and I would run them 14, 15 years old, and the guy would let me bet him and let me do that. But I mean, that was kind of like the Italian culture. They had that, you know, bookmaking. Back in the days, they used to own that shit. That was their thing. Now they ain't got none of that. It all got taken away. But yeah, I got the bug at a young age, but I quit. It was I beat it. It's kind of funny. One of my closest friends, we were in Vegas, and I was in Las Vegas, and thank God I bought my room ahead of time because I was busted out, broke, fucking playing blackjack, that bullshit. And my friend kind of looked at me, and he saw I was upset. We started talking. He goes, you know, Vegas wasn't built on winners, and I don't know what happened, but something kind of switched. And then I started thinking about all my uncles and cousins who did bookmaking, how they received the bets, how they always made money. And I was like, this is a rigged game.
It clicked.
No more. I went to a couple meetings and I beat it, and I never have to worry about like an impulse to gamble. But I did gamble on this.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I've never ever had a gambling impulse, Pasta. I've actually been very, very much. I don't even call it anti-gambling because my brother loves to gamble. Like he's not like he doesn't have an addiction or anything like that, but he just love the gaming of it. He like dedicates a certain amount of money every month. He wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But it's just like a game to him to do while he's bored. But when so I went to Vegas, and basically my best friend at the time was like, yo, man, like you got to do something. So I played blackjack for the first time, and I won like in total like $1,750. And I just, all right, I'm done. Got up. And the dude beside was like, what the hell? You're gonna keep going? I was like, why would I do that? I have $1,000. It's like $1,700 more than I had 30 minutes ago, an hour ago. Like, I'm just gonna leave. He was like, man, my life would be a lot better if I could just get the hell up and leave like that.
Yeah, no shit, right? That's the casino. You can get up and walk out at any time.
Yep. Even now, I was going to bet on the Knicks game. I decided not to, but I'm like, and the thing about sports betting too is that like after I watched the AI 60-minute documentary about the ref that was rigging the games against AI on behalf of the Lakers whenever Shaq and Kobe were playing together, when AI only got that one game. And he was like, yeah, as long as I'm a ref in the NBA, AI will never win a championship. Like after that, I knew I was like, yeah, no, I can never vote. I mean, I can never bet because if I'm betting because I know a team's about to get cheated, then I feel dishonest personally. Like that just is like, for me personally,
the NBA was biased in this.
They wanted the Spurs to win.
They wanted Wemby to win. They definitely did. They refused to throw him out. I mean, the two closeouts like underneath Brunson, like in 2 different games, where
you see when he tried to take out
ankle buckled. You did see this, and he went over there screaming at the refs. I mean, it's just like,
did you see him try to take out OG's ACL?
The big stomp, yeah.
He like jumped from one side of the 3-point line. I'm like, what the hell? That's like that is not a basketball movement. And he jumped because in the context of the game, everybody, OG was single-handedly leading us back to a comeback. Like he was going crazy on both ends of the floor to do like an Energizer bunny, and we kept switching Cat and OG onto Wemby, and Wemby is not, bro. OG Anunoby is built like a damn linebacker. In fact, for those of you who don't know, one, he might be the only British basketball player in the league right now, if not ever. But also, his brother played in the NFL. I don't know if you know that. His brother played in the NFL. So like that's why OG is built like a damn linebacker. So Wemby is having all this trouble with OG Anunoby. He tries to take him out. He tried to take out Jalen Brunson. And people are asking, like, not that I approve fans throwing stuff at basketball players, because like my thing is, don't do something behind other people or behind hiding behind a wall or whatever.
Somebody threw an egg at Wemby
in front of their face.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
The context is they didn't do that the first couple of games. They did that after they witnessed Wemby trying to end our players' careers.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
no one doing anything about it.
Let me
Hey,
say
I
a few
lost a
things.
lot of
That's
respect
some
for Wemby
Raiders
this season.
shit.
Hold on, because I knew you're gonna bring this up, Nico. Let me tell you something. We had new information. We found out what happened with the situation. If you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, what Nico House is talking about is that Wemby, whose nickname is the Alien, is a 7'6" basketball player. He's the face of the league. They want this guy to,
Totally.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But don't get me wrong, he can ball, right? He can shoot, he can do everything. He's defensive player of the year. Nobody told Brunson that when he was scoring them down in the stretch. But he was a defensive player of the year, and he came around, and he's been considered in certain in this particular series against the Knicks and throughout the playoffs. There's been people calling him dirty, taking dirty shots. You know, he elbowed Naz Reid, another basketball player, in the neck, got thrown out. And in basketball, in the playoffs, if you get what they call four flagrant one fouls, you're suspended for a game. In other words, you act too much like a thug, eventually catches up and they suspend you. Well, he was coming off a screen and he lifted his leg up. And I've never seen a basketball move like that ever. Like he was trying to almost stomp on another player, OG Anunoby's leg, right? And almost come down on it. Yes. And it was bad. And nobody called it whatnot. But Nico House, we found out that Sensei John Kreese from the Cobra Kai's was in the house, and he told Wemby to sweep the leg, and that's what happened.
Well, it wasn't that effective.
The leg, Mr. Lawrence.
It looks like he needs to go back to the monk. Or he was hanging out with the monks of the monastery or whatever during the summer, right? That's what. So he was so locked in because of the monks. Looks like he needs to go back and do some more training with Luke Kane because it didn't work out the way he thought it was. And I think it's. Like I have to say once again, I have not considered Wemby to be the best basketball player in the world since this season started. People have been trying to anoint him the best basketball player in the world. They've been trying to crown him that. Look at what he's doing on both ends of the court. We've never seen this before. Yes, we have. His name is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Manute Bol.
Manute Bol, but not to this degree. But actually,
that's all.
Boy from the Rockets. That part of the Twin Towers.
Yeah. Manute Bol.
Ralph?
You talking about Ralph Sampson and
Sampson? And, yup.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
All-star in the first year. Like, we've seen this before. It's not like we don't have to go back that far. Giannis there's a reason they call him the Greek Freak. That like, hey, there's a reason that what people forget. Yeah, Wemby is cool. Wemby is great. Wemby is actually inefficient for a center. Wemby, I cannot believe that there have been not one, not two, multiple playoff games where he gets less than 10 rebounds. You are 7'6". Pasta, could you imagine? Could you imagine Giannis getting 6 rebounds in a playoff game? He at least gonna get his own. He'll get 2 or 3 of his own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Wemby had 14 rebounds last game because I made a side bet. Like I said, I don't bet, but I made a side bet for this game that I thought after game 4 with Josh Hart that he would have just a monster game. And I thought I was betting on him to have the most rebounds for the Knicks, but I found out it was the most rebounds for the game. And Josh Hart had 11 rebounds, Mitchell Robinson 10, Cat 10. So he had the most rebounds for the Knicks. And I knew he was going to play his heart out, but Wemby had 14. But here's the thing.
Finally,
people are talking, who's the best player in the NBA? Is it Wemby? Is it Giannis? Now we both know. We all know. It's not either one. It is now Jalen Brunson.
Nick, I don't like spending money, let alone gambling.
What happens when you win money?
Mississippi boy.
You got to do something, Nick, right?
Man, I've never even bought a lottery ticket.
Oh, geez.
I refuse to buy those.
And I'm like, I'm like 45 years old. And I never gambled.
I don't believe that's cap. You ain't no 45 years old, Josh.
I'm 45 now, man.
So let's get these calls going. Yesterday was the first day back. We had a couple days off last week, Thursday and Friday. Josh, Sleepy J, was stuck in tornado weather, so we didn't have any calls. And we had a great show Thursday with Kyle Anzalone and Friday with Andrew Sigmund, and we great conversations. But we hit the phone lines back yesterday. Let's hit them back today. 561-247-2721, 561-247-2721. I am your host, Craig Pasta Jardula. Of course, we're here on Tuesdays with our co-host, Nico House, and Sleepy J is always there hanging on out. I was going to mention
tomorrow. Pray for my power because we're getting
we're going to pray for tomorrow. I think we got a Thursday guest. we're losing a libertarian, so for the week because he's on assignment. Kyle Angelo won't be here.
He's on
I think
vacation.
Tatiana Moroz will be filling on in. I kind of got like a soft jest on that. Remember, I called her the Polish Lisa Loeb. She also shot a pilot with me, and she's a pretty fun libertarian. She hates socialism too, though. But what are you gonna fucking do, right? Like, socialism, Nico.
I don't know how you can hate socialism. I can understand maybe
They see it as control.
Huh? They say it's control?
See it as too much control. They see it as an infringement on their freedoms.
Oh, see, that's why I don't like. Okay, I mean, like I said, I guess I can see how you can not like it. I can understand how you hate capitalism, like hating capitalism, because what we've seen historically, and especially when the libertarians are all about, they're all about competition and things like that. Like, there's no larger hindrance to competition in the market than capitalism has been, because capitalism, we know they use these caricature type tactics against communists and socialists to rob them. Then they use these mafia tactics to cut people out of competition, right? Cut business out of competition, monopolize the market, the Rockefeller method to controlling all of the means of production and distribution, right? I can say you hate capitalism, but how can you hate socialism? Like, hey, man, I just want to make sure that we all chip a little bit in to make sure that people can have health care and feed their kids. Whoa! The fucking audacity, bro. Like, let me live, man. You're trading on me.
Here's the thing. And this is what I love the Libertarian Party and ideology when it comes to like the Ron Paul method, the non-interventionist. Like, I get their civil liberties argument. I discovered that a long time ago, like how important our civil liberties are and stuff. It's just a little bit of a disconnect too, as well. And I think this is, once again, when you get to go down to Latin America and you see some of these socialist countries, the way they operate, it's more of about collectivism. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The libertarians, a lot of people think that libertarians want the government out of business because they want all the, they rage against, restrictions, or what do you call the things when you have to go get, when you're starting a business?
Social safety nets?
Not restrictions, but there's another word. Huh?
Oh, regulations.
Regulations, right? So they hate regulations and stuff. But they understand that the government, right? Or they'll game the system along with the corporatist to make sure that they have a monopoly on things. And that's why a lot of your restrictions are involved, and, your regulations, why you have to pay these things, so much red tape. So they believe if you remove the evil mechanism, this is their dystopia, right? That capitalism will just operate freely on itself if you take the negative element out. No, sorry, libertarians, it doesn't work that way. And if we're going to have some tax dollars out there, right? And I get it, like, oh, well, there should be no taxation to stuff, and the Fed, I get it. Right. I understand that. But if there's going to be some taxation, I'd rather it be used on our streets, our schools, our healthcare, rather than use it to drop fucking bombs. Right. So I can find a happy medium. I can understand it. And this is why elections are so important to me, Nico, because if you're going to have this system, you just have to have the ability to hire and fire the right people to run that system. So there is no theft involved. So when they get mad at me for healthcare and like, you think healthcare is a human right? I say, listen, I just believe I don't want the government to tell me what healthcare I can use. I just want them to pay for it and shut the fuck up, because I do believe it is human.
That's basically Brazil's healthcare system. They don't now. I think there could be a more efficient way to do it at times, but they're also, you gotta understand, Brazil they're not spending the most money on healthcare in the world like the U.S. is. They have a private healthcare system in Brazil, and for all intents and purposes, it actually alleviates the public healthcare system, which is ideally what you would like a private healthcare system to do, because not everybody can afford it. And usually people only use it as a last resort, or if they have a lot of money. So, and then they don't tell. So if I buy private healthcare, they'll give me an option. They give me options of networks, unless I get it through, you get it through your job. That's a little bit of a different story. But public healthcare, you can go to any, like, bro, if you came from out of the United States into Brazil and you broke your arm, they're fixing your arm for you. And you're not paying a dime.
Yeah. I was just approved. I got medication for free. So, I went into a clinic and now, like, I got this going on. They gave me medication for free. Good morning, Wadat. Good morning to people out there too. And I love you. See, you're going to fit in just well, Tati. You're having these discussions, and we'll have these discussions and stuff. But the thing is that, And I gotta say though, like I like the mentality. We have our good friend Martha Bueno, right? Who, the first time we met was at Freedom Fest, and we were going back and forth and having these arguments. And I once said that she was a gusano, and it was wrong for me to say that because I stopped trying to use that word. But that was a term used, like that I learned in Latin America from when Castro had used it from American imperialist friendly people. But when you look at the real like libertarian mentality, and she's been really vocal about this, she's like, look, I'm not crazy about the Chavista government, but what right does the United States have to get involved? And there's been a lot of mentality like that from the libertarian people. That's not coming from the conservatives and the far right. They've justified the whole kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro. So there is some common ground there. There was a lot of shit people got when we joined forces for the first Rage Against the War Machine before the chair, Angela McArdle, took it off and ran off to it with the Republican Party and Donald Trump and had fundraisers. How stupid was that? But I mean, there are a lot of commonalities and similarities there. That's why I have such a great time with Kyle on the show, Kyle Anzalone. And
Kyle, man. Kyle's like, in my opinion, the ideal libertarian. If I like, Kyle is the standard for libertarians, in my humble opinion. Shout out to Kyle Matovich. Man, Kyle is like, when he'll like, so he's a libertarian, but he will not ever like demean or diminish the value like a socialist government. If you are going to use tax, he's like, if you're going to use it, it is to protect national landmarks or like national parks. Unlike what we're seeing happen right now in Argentina. He's like, if you're going to use that money, it's to provide health care for those who need it, especially if they're already paying you for it. Like, there's no reason why people should be paying premiums when the United States spends the most money in the world on healthcare, allegedly. On what? We don't know, but they do. But like Kyle, but he still prefers, more often than not, that the government stay out of his personal matters. And that, and so that's why he considers himself to be a libertarian. And I rock with it. And he even on the immigration issue, he says like he's for legal immigration, but he doesn't want it to become an issue where it disproportionately affects the middle class, like where the government is able to then take advantage of it, or businesses, corporations, mega corporations especially, are able to take advantage of immigration to dislodge the middle class and force them into a lower standard of living, which I can understand it. I understand that argument, right? And he doesn't make it in a way that's dehumanizing. He's like, there is a certain point where I have to make sure that people who live here are okay. Okay, you know what? That's fine. If that's going to be like the biggest issue we have a disagreement on, then I'm cool with that. That's a libertarian.
No. Listen, Tatiana's great. She writes love songs. You know what I'm saying? She's got a great fucking heart. So even though she has this belief when it comes to, capitalism and whatnot, she says, how's healthcare going in Canada? I get you. It's going better than it is here.
Oh, actually, Tatiana, interesting.
Canada, like it's bankrupt citizens here. What's going on with the capitalism there? But
can I hold it? Do you mind?
We don't have a real capitalist system. We have crony capitalism.
Hold on. Let me hold this. Let me have it. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but Canada's healthcare system has gotten worse over the last few years. Do you know why? It's because Canada has actually introduced more and more privatized healthcare. And the more privatized healthcare that they've introduced, the worse that Canada's healthcare system has gotten. Yeah, that's generally what happens. I ain't gonna lie to you.
This one here. Amanda Marie Brinkley, libertarians are always better than Republicans.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally. 1,000.
Unless they are Republicans in disguise, which is like Malay, basically.
And you don't have to worry about explaining it too. We talk about these things. We have fun. Tati, we talk about a lot of other, I'm saying? There's a lot more to agree on nowadays, especially with things going on. Nico, there was a peace, and I got the air quotes. There was a peace deal that was made. Well, was it made, or was it just to manipulate markets?
On Friday.
Any way you look at it, and once again, now the Democrats are going to come around and they're going to look like Obama and his was it JPCOA or AOC with not AOC.
Oh, JPCOA.
Yeah, JPCOA deal is going to look so much greater and stuff because what the Americans and the West
sorry.
I think it's a lie, but once again, they're talking about $300 billion for reconstruction. I think Obama gave like 1.4, and all the fucking Trumpers had a hissy fit about it. They got to give back like $12 billion in frozen assets before they even start talking on Friday. Strait of Hormuz was still closed. Now it's going to be opened up Tolbu style for the Iranians. They have to leave supposedly in the 14 clause agreements. They got to close up all the bases. Now, don't get me wrong. I want this, right? I rooted for fucking Iran last night, hardcore in the World Cup, right? They're taking on the Epstein class, and I want to see this fucking happen. But if you're going to be, when the conversations that are going to happen in the United States with the football mentality is the Democrats are going to come around and say the Republicans and Donald Trump just got their ass beat up in Iran.
I mean,
they did. And I just want to get your thoughts on it and hear about this whole this deal so far.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even say that the Republicans only got their ass teed up. The Democrats are right there cheering them on. The Democrats decided to try to introduce a war powers resolution, even though Kana and Massey were trying to get this war powers resolution introduced like 2 years ago, almost, or at least a year ago. And no one wanted to hear anything about it. And I said, actually, a week before this most recent attack at the end of February on a show with Kyle, I said, what happened with this war powers resolution? They said, oh, there's a press conference held by Hakeem Jeffries. Oh, we're going to introduce it next week. We're going to vote in it next week. I said, oh, they're going to attack this weekend. So it's been coordinated between the high-ranking Democrats and the Trump administration. And right now, the Democrats are going to distance themselves away. But at the end of the day, like the JCPOA should have never been dismantled, and that was all Trump's fault. But in all honesty, the Trump administration laws, the Democrats' laws, and they have laws going forward. So if they've officially learned that they're about to inherit a government in a world where every single superpower knows you can't do shit with Iran. Good luck. And then imagine trying to go back on any deal that comes out of this war between Trump and Iran. And now you're getting your ass handed to you to the same degree that Trump did, if not worse, because maybe these bases have already been shut down, new allyships have been formed, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anyone is perceiving this other than the abysmal loss that it is. This is going, if this deal holds up, which it should. I mean, the fact that this deal is actually being discussed means that Trump lost.
Yeah.
And it means that the Middle East and Southeast Asia officially belongs to Iran. It is up to them to dictate what will happen going forward, because the ball is protected by the U.S.
Right? You know the quote from the Wolf and what was that? What was the Wolf in the Tarantino movie with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson? How do I know?
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, right? What does Harvey Keitel's character say? Let's not start sucking each other's beep just yet, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if this is more stall tactics. I mean, I saw that little collage of videos from Donald Trump saying, we're very close to a deal. We're very close to a deal. We're very close to a deal. They want to make a deal. China, we're very close to a deal. Hit that China button. We're very close to a deal. What else do you got to say, Trump? Huh?
China.
Say it again.
China.
Speaking of China, it's really upsetting to me, and people need to understand this too. You know, I have a connection in Iran. You know him; he's a friend of ours. He's been watching our show for quite some time. When he got internet back, he's been able to, hit me back and forth. But before the internet and the 90-day shutdown, I would get a call every once in a while, and we'd start talking and seeing what was going on and talking about Iran. A lot of people came up on the shoulders of the United States in the West, right? Like, because the United States became a superpower, they attached themselves to that. Some people have a different seat on the table. You know, obviously, England, Israel, they're kind of at the big boy table and whatnot, and everybody else is sitting at the little kids table behind them. Iran has made a point. They're coming up on the shoulders of China in the East. However, they want a seat at the big boy table. And there are too many people in independent media that are saying, oh, this war is so much more about China and Russia and helping them out. No, Iran manufactures 95% of their own fucking drones. And this whole warfare has changed everything. Ukraine is still holding on because of drone warfare, because you can literally drive some trucks anywhere, open up the fucking truck, and the drones go out. This is what the Ukrainians did to attack some nuclear readiness bases inside Russia proper. It's changed everything. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And Iran has really fought back for themselves. Yeah, they had some help from China and Russia and stuff like this, but this really is about Iran taking on Israel and the Epstein class in the West. And that you have to tip your hat off to these motherfuckers. I'm buying myself an Iranian soccer jersey for the World Cup, Nico. I'm going to wear it too, because I know she wants them.
Look, dog, we have to remember, y'all. Iran wasn't just fighting the United States. Iran wasn't even just fighting Israel. They were fighting like a 6 or 7 front war, and no one could do anything about it. Like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, with the UAE in general, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, United States. Okay, man. So who's gonna get them? You? Nah, man. You got it, bro. But I'm behind you. I got your back, dog. I got your back. Go ahead. Nah. You got him. You got, bro. So okay, y'all can't defend yourselves. The United States doesn't have the means to defend you. Israel's getting bogged down as well, and it's all because Iran has been more prepared and has been actually holding back this entire time, which a lot of us have been saying since before this war started. But they only had a chance to demonstrate once they got pushed over the edge. And y'all can't do anything about it. And there's about to be a peace deal that basically says Iran gets whatever they want to. And you are 100% right, Pasta. The drones change I call it the meritocracy of technology. Once Iran, because it isn't just Iran, Hezbollah obviously has been able to beat up on Israel in South Lebanon, which is why Israel is constantly attacking Beirut, because they are getting their ass handed to them in South Lebanon by these drones. There's videos popping up everywhere. Ukraine, Israel is even trying to claim that Ukraine is going to help them in their drone warfare defense strategy, et cetera, et cetera. So drones are a big difference maker. And it seems to me that Iran, for whatever reason, has been more effective at applying these strategies for drone warfare than every other country, which is interesting because I would have never even guessed that was a possibility until this war started, which ultimately I feel like was their goal. We got out strategized. We got out beat when it comes to weapons. We got outbeat when it came to tech. Like it is truly a meritocracy of technology, and
we got to call
meritocracy. Meritocratically speaking, Iran won, and so have their allies so far.
By the way, I was playing a little video of the Iranian soccer coaches that didn't get their visas to go into LA, so they watched the game from Tijuana, Mexico. Literally, this bullshit's going on all the time. United States.
You see what happened in Senegal?
What happened? They on the runway and they frisked them all. That one, yeah, I've seen that too as well.
They stopped them from
How about the best referee?
We've got a caller.
All right, guys, caller. Where are you calling from? Who is it?
Caller?
Hello?
Hey, what's your name?
This is Charles again from the Bronx.
What's going on, Charles?
Yeah, I've been just tuned in, and I didn't know that you guys. I forgot you guys been on. Come on every Tuesday. But what I'm saying is this: since everything broke out, 2023. I have cut off so many podcasts, one after the other, and I whittled down to you guys and a few others. But my line is this. I'm tired of hearing about who has a bomb, who has this, and this, that, the other, who has the big gun, John Mersheimer, this, that, the other. As a student of Malcolm X, going, like I told you, through the penitentiary, an iron worker, being in the trenches, this, that, the other. What I'm saying is the force behind it is the academia and theology and the history that connects all these people. Because if it wasn't for the scholars of Lebanon in 1501, when they declared Iran a Shia theocracy or Shia state, it wouldn't exist the way it is today. So what I'm saying is the force behind it is the people in the street that are forcing their government to stand up for justice. It's their belief system. It doesn't matter, because if they run out of missiles, these people will run over there and throw rocks.
That's for damn sure.
And like Professor Horn says, Professor Horn says this. He says that the Haitian Revolution, Professor Horn said the Haitian Revolution was really broke, the main market of slavery in the capital of DC. While these people were running around talking about liberty and justice, they had open slave markets in the street. So now it went from that to economic slavery. This whole thing about woke and all this and all that and bombs, this is just noise on the outside. What's going on is people are in the streets now backing and telling them you have to fight injustice. It's obligatory on every man and woman that have did a little bit of their homework to see what's going on in the world today. That's what I'm trying to bring out. So it's not about bombs. It's about people.
Did you?
It's a little bit about bombs too. I do have a little bit about bombs.
Can I just say one thing? Just want to ask. Did you see? And Nico, I don't know if you saw this. The video though of the it was in Tehran Square when the bombing campaign started back up. And Iran was launching off some of their ballistic missiles.
Sure.
And I know it's not he's right. The belief system, they were like, they didn't care. They didn't leave the streets. They were like, kill us, martyr us when you ain't afraid to die, right? And you're a society like that. You're a society that's never going to be conquered or defeated. Charles is absolutely 1,000% right. And I saw them in the streets screaming as the missiles are sent off, like, let's go. Please.
Americans are not built like that. Americans are so terrified of like getting into a fist fight with one another that they'll gun each other down the street to avoid having a black eye and being embarrassed on social media. That is not that. You don't have that problem in Iran. You don't have that problem in Palestine. You don't have that problem in Iraq. Like Americans are just not built like that. You will not see Americans in the street, even like. We know that we're at this point in American history where the U.S. empire is collapsing. They feel it every day, whether it be economically. You have people in the military getting sent off to go fight Iran and getting sent to the South China Sea. And they know that they're being sent to their deaths potentially. And still, no one will protest. No one will gather in large numbers to the degree that they should because of they're afraid of the consequences. That is not what we've seen in Iran. They know that the United States Israel will attack innocent civilians. If you gather in mass numbers, you could and probably will be targeted, and they do it anyway. How do you beat people? How do you beat people like?
You're right, Nico. You're right, but let me make one point and close it, Nico. If I may, 1 point. You're 100% right. I agree. But what I'm saying is this: is that a lot of Americans haven't experienced the trenches. When you experience being in the actual trenches, or you go through these schools of academia, okay, where you went to the military like you did and I did honorably, you sent to prison innocently, okay, and then you become a union iron worker and they try to erase you with parole and write you off. When you go through these schools, not many Americans know what it is to be housed with all different type of people who've been oppressed and didn't even know their rights. And America, like I believe Colonel McGregor, I really don't care for him too much, but he said until the American people don't have food or bread on their table and they're told to eat cake, like they're telling them that Trump is telling everybody today, they're not going to wake up. Yeah. But Iran has that academia that they don't need to be starved because they've been starved, but that didn't affect them 47 years. So I'll leave it at that. I talk too much.
Charles, wait, don't leave us though. I got a question. Are you insinuating or making a statement or kind of like a little bit of, I don't know, floating it out there that maybe some Americans are starting to kind of get a little bit of that bug, a little bit of that fever? Like, wait a second, this is a tyrannical government. Nothing's going to change. I mean, the left had Obama, the right had Trump. Now they can both see that they've both been screwed. And, what we're witnessing in Bolivia, where the workers from the outer rims are coming on in, and Peru ready to do this stuff. I think it's so inspiring. Are you saying, do you think, Charles, are you getting a little sense that there's a little bit of, I don't know, they're getting a little bit of the fever here in America to do the same thing?
No, what I'm saying is what Frederick Douglass messed up on, Du Bois corrected. In other words, what's going on today, that all these museums are woke, okay, they're going back to that whiteness thing, okay, and then you have other people, okay, and professors that are writing materials and have access to archives, okay, and you can't take them or blackball them. I hate to use that word because everything negative got to be blackmail, blackball, black sheep, black this. See, I see through all of this, and what I'm saying is it's incumbent upon every American to stop scrolling and pick up and make books, make reading books great again. And I'll end with that, because unless you start to read And I don't know how you're going to get there. I know how I got where I am through the School of Hard Knocks. And that's a well-earned school. And look at all the warriors in time. Look at you guys. I'm sure you guys went through, being, no, you can't make money because you're speaking truth to power and this, that, the other. So, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. But it's going to happen in America because Americans really, at the end of the day, they're really not idiots.
Facts.
They are consumed. They are propagandized.
I like what this person said about being a pacifist. A lot of Americans are pacifists because they've been conditioned to be so. They've been told that violence is not the answer.
We got
I'm gonna tell you all those.
That's why we're pacified, Nico. We got. Why am I gonna get crazy when I can just get Uber Eats? I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not a pacifist. That might be my issue 90% of my life. I am definitely one of those eye for the eye for an eye. No, hell no. I'm gonna take your eye before you get a chance to take my eye. That is how I've been raised. That's how I was raised by my father, my grandfather, or my grandma. Like, and it wasn't to initiate violence. It wasn't anything like that or be an aggressive individual. But it was, you got to protect home base, because if you don't, them is gonna come over, whoever them may be at the time, because it's always a different person. It might have a different face. It could be career-wise, could be somebody going after your family, could be somebody going. You gotta be prepared to do whatever you have to protect a home base. And it served me well thus far. And I've had people convince me or convince my brother or others in my family that no, that's wrong. That's wrong being aggressive like that. It's wrong being defensive like that. And then as I grew up, I realized that they were the ones who were wrong. The only reason I've gotten to the place that I've gotten to was because of my ability to defend myself and defend those around me. My wife, we live in Rio. We can go wherever. She is never worried about anything. She's like, oh, when Nico. I had to split up a fight on the street in Copacabana the other day because this homeless guy, probably high as hell, threw a sign at this group of tourists that were they were Brazilian, but they were from out of town. And so he was trying to fight the girls in the group. So I just step in calmly, like, hey, bro, calm down. Like, he's screaming, and I'm trying to tell them to go away. I'm like, yo, y'all chill out. He looks at me, and he like kind of sees it in I'm the only one not yelling in the situation, because I also know I'm the only one willing to knock everybody this motherfucker out. I don't care. Like, and once he sees the calmness in my eye, like, I said, yo, relax. My wife is here. There are kids right there, and you are being too loud. Calm down. And he was like, all right, man, whatever. Turns around, goes on about his business. Like, I have the confidence to do that because I'm not a pacifist. I will do what I have to do to defend. So yeah, you're right. Americans' problem is that they are willing to just sit back and take their lumps, saying like, oh, if I just get my ass beat enough by this belt, maybe mommy and daddy will start treating me right.
Yeah, no. But it also ties back into what you said earlier too, as well. They're so fucking chicken shit to take a shot or smack that they'd rather go grab a gun. They just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just so sheltered, so propagandized.
It's an overcorrection one way or the other.
Charles is talking about reading books. These are the books, right? I'm into this book right now. I've been reading different chapters, running and jumping around in it, It's a book about the CIA. It's called The Devil's Chessboard by David Talbot. And these are the books, right? For some reason, after I read these books, it just kind of makes me keep going and do what I'm doing, because you realize that the marketing and everything we were taught growing up is just so false. We don't have freedom of choice. We're not picking our own government. We don't have a representative government. We have a government within a government that's funded to the nines, does whatever. They're a bunch of social engineers, and they don't give a fuck about you. They only care about the masters that they serve. I mean, obviously, we still don't know who's behind the Iron Bank, but we know there's an Iron Bank operating, and these fuckers just running around going crazy, doing what they ever want to do. They're the ones who really dictate policy. And when you see what's going on in Iran, I mean, how long was the Mossad and the CIA involved, Nico? Right? The first CIA overturn was Mossadegh, which was a secular leader, right? I mean, we saw what they did to Mossadegh.
Almost since the inception of the CIA, they've been involved.
But they were the CIA before the CIA. They were just, military.
No, I'm saying since the official inception of the CIA, exactly. It was like maybe 6 or 7 years later they were involved.
But this type of fucking government within a government probably existed in the Jesus Christ days. There was shit going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always been that secret government hiding behind the shadows, calling the shots.
You know what, fellas? At the end of the day, I think what's a great achievement is if you can become market free. In other words, I'm retired, okay? I'm 71 and I am market free. What I mean by market free is that when I open my mailbox and I slam it and the guy in the lobby says, damn, that was loud. I said, yeah. What'd you hear? He said, I heard your mailbox slam. I said, no, that's the sound of freedom. You see any bills in my hand? You see any hooks of the government? That's the sound of freedom. An empty mailbox means you are market free. How did I get market free? All right. So what I'm saying is I could sit back and lay back and not be involved or listen to you guys or do this and do that. But you know what? When I went to church at 9 years old with my father with shine shoes, and I followed him with the holy water and all that, and I turned around and heard the priest talking some language that was Latin, and I turned around at 9 years old, told my father, you understand what that man's saying? Because I don't understand. He said, you know what? I just came home from Korea. Okay, I was on the picket line, a real picket line in 1951, and let's go get our shoes shined because we can make up for the time where your grandparents won't know what's going on. So he taught me a lesson, real theater over robes and theater that make no damn sense. So that's why Abraham challenged, okay, all them people as a youth. Oh, it must be that youth. So it's reason. It's reason. It's common sense. And the American people are waking up to common damn sense, which never used to be too common until you guys started getting online. I'll finish with that.
Appreciate you,
Charles,
man.
we love you. Thank you so much for calling on in. Definitely on Tuesdays, making the show what it is. This is episode 17. You know, look, and I'm in a position, Charles, and for the rest of the people out there, and I talked to Nico about this. You know, I started this show over about a year and change ago for WBAI New York, a call-in show, when they gave me a little test run. And the station director, after we did an hour of the show, it was the first time ever. We didn't have a name for it, anything. We just Pasta Jardula. She's like, you could talk a little bit about everything, can't you? I said, well, I try to keep my, ears and my eyes and my nose to what's going on so I can pay attention. And I got this show. And it was 1 day a week. And at one point, I got offered more days, but I was sick. I really went through an illness that I never thought I expected. Changed my whole perception on life. I understand that your health is everything, especially going through the whole COVID situation and what we're witnessing now and my beliefs there and all. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But they wouldn't necessarily give me more time now because I won't play the Democrats as the lesser of two evils. That's my personal opinion about the situation. I mean, they'll say, oh, we're full and we have these other people, yada, 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 whatever. But, I said to myself, well, fuck it. I don't need anybody's permission. I don't need to make any money on this. I mean, I'd like to make a few bucks to make a living so I don't have to peel out of savings and shit. But I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to come out there. I'm going to speak. I'm going to empower the people every single day, every single moment to come on and say the things that you're saying, Charles, and say the things they believe and have conversations because we have a complete propagandized, controlled situation right now. If you ever peek at mainstream media, man, that thing is like a psyop within a fucking psyop, right?
But it's a relic now. It's really a relic. That's a relic, brother. All that now, since COVID, that mainstream media, why do you think they're buying all that stuff up? They lost the whole war, psychologically, physically, kinetically, you name it. Stick to Professor Morandi. Stick to that line. I'm not telling you to become a Shia Muslim or follow Imam Ali. All I'm saying is what's emanating out of Iran right now is justice. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And all the Marxists and communists that are online now are trying to find a home, and it seems they're all parking their car and they're saying revolution is fertile, and they all want to jump on the bandwagon, but they don't want to bow down with those who bow down. They can't give up that last sense of I'm who I am because I'm an overgrown sperm drop and now I'm a disputer. All right.
Well, you know what, Charles? Let me interrupt you real quick. I gotta interrupt you because this is something I'm actually very, very passionate about. You say they don't want to get down with those who bow down. In other words, there are people who claim to be Marxist, socialists, whatever, but they don't want to actually share the pulpit with brown people, with black people, with the originators, the leaders, at least in the West. of these movements, the ones who've sacrificed the most, the ones who've literally been gunned down, like the Fred Hamptons of the world. They don't want to share with the Huey P. Newtons of the world. I did a whole a segment on Hassan Piker and how problematic the fact that he is the face of socialism or communism or leftism in the West is, because it'd be one thing if he's a psyop, but why? How is that? My question is, possibly he's a psyop. How is he able to be a successful psyop unless there are people actively participating in elevating him as a psyop instead of saying, "Hold up, why are my spider senses tingling?" Because that's I've never liked Hassan, never.
Yeah. Never.
Not. I remember when he was doing decent work on QRT, and like whatever he was doing was like little 15 or like 2-minute videos that they were like highly produced 2-minute videos, basically kissing Bernie's ass for 8 years or 3 years, and I was like, yeah, there's something off about this dude. Like, why is he being
let me just, they got the keys to the king. Let's just say goodbye to Charles. Charles, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you making this call. We don't know if there's anybody in the queue, but thank you so much. You call back next Tuesday, or call back whenever you want and tell us what's up. We appreciate you.
Peace out. Peace out.
For sure, Charles. And but I gotta say, bro, it's so crazy witnessing it as a black person, because it's an indictment of whatever the West wants to call leftism. Whenever someone like Hassan Piker could go tell them to vote for Joe Biden, to vote for the genocide that they're actively protesting against right now, to vote for the Democrats who finance that genocide, and then sit back, turn around and say, I'm a socialist. Oh my God, he's doing so much for the discourse. Huh?
Well, it's man, you know this, right? Like, I saw a meme the other day and I thought about it. It was really funny. And guys, we want you to call on in 561-247-2721. 561-247-2721. I saw a meme the other day. It said that the Republicans, openly racist but secretly gay. And it said liberals, openly gay but secretly racist. And it's kind of funny, like we would talk about, like,
that's some facts, dude.
It's the weird type of racism, right? It's the type of, if I can't exploit you, Nico, right, for my own benefit to make myself look good. This is narcissism right here. Like, I'm going in front of Nico. I'm taking it for Nico. If I can't exploit you as a black man, then you're no good to me. If you're Morgan Freeman, get the fuck out of here. It's a different type of fucking racism, right? I mean, it's just.
Tell her how it works. They don't want to hear me. I'm black. So
it's not like, get off my lawn, get out of my neighborhood racism. It's like, what do you mean I can't exploit you for you? You have to be a victim so I can be the one that, lift myself up by saying I'm there for black and brown people all over the place.
The white savior.
The white savior. Like that, and it's like, wow, dude, that's like, you really think that little of black people, that they can't have their own opinions in their own mind? You really think that little of Latino people, that, you know what I'm saying? I remember just getting in a fight with some of these girls about that bullshit, and seeing these white girls trying to tell a Latin woman who was from that country about her people. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? All to be the savior, the white
people
savior.
All the time trying to tell me about how Brazil works. I'm like, huh? What do you? Because, for example, I was telling people that this news that has been seen all over social media about Lula increasing the amount of money, the amount of people who are receiving the Bolsa da Familia, it's like Social Security, basically, food stamps, things like that. I'm like, I don't know where y'all getting that from, but that shit is not true. I don't know why it's been spread. They're like, what do you mean? All these organizations. I'm telling you, my aunt, my wife's aunt, just lost hers. She makes the absolute minimum. She is how do you say fashion? Like, she cleans up houses, basically. She cleans up houses. She makes the absolute bare minimum. She doesn't qualify for it. She lives in a favela with her daughter. My a sister-in-law who has 2 kids, hers was taken from $700 reais to 300 reais. I know a bunch of people who lost their Social Security for no reason. And they can't get it turned back on. And where there are people who have been able to do it, they go months without it. And for those of you who understand how Brazil works, bro, 3-4 months without that money can ruin your life. They can ruin your credit forever, right? Yeah. Like that is. I'm like, why? Okay, so why do you know better? Because my white friends on IG are already posting this, so it must be true. Oh, that's crazy. Live in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I don't care what your white friends are saying on social media, but that's what it comes down to. And I would make an argument that Pasta is taking a lot of hits because Pasta has actually been willing to go to bat to the point where it damn near could be detrimental to defend the experiences of his minority friends. He's been willing to defer in a way that most white men in this space refuse to defer. And that is also perceived as being dangerous.
Yeah, they think they know everything, man. It's like you don't have any of these life experiences. You're just going off what other people fucking say. Like maybe sit the fuck down and let people who have lived these experiences use their voice.
Yeah.
What does Nick always say? Nick Cruz, he says, I don't understand how Palestinians have become genocided, Arabs have become targeted all over the world, especially in that part of the world, and somehow white Jewish people have gotten richer for the experience. White Jewish leftists or white people, white guys in general. I was like, when's the last time we've heard from a Palestinian or an Arab that's like hit like that wasn't already famous beforehand? Like, how have more white people gotten famous from Palestinians being genocided? And I was like, yo, that's a weird fact.
That's odd, dude. It's odd.
By the way, really quickly, I just want to send some love to people in the chat. Thank you so much for all your kindness. I saw Claudia was there. She came on in. Claudia's a boss. We got to hang in Nicaragua before, but she's done some amazing work in Bolivia and some amazing work in Peru. And I really think that we need to keep highlighting what's going on. I mean, this is a workers' revolution. I've been talking about this for so long that it's going to come down to these people for showing us the way, right? You know what I'm saying? It's about class. With the race tied to it, right? Like because the people in Peru they look a little bit more like me, and the indigenous people look a little bit more like Nico. And there is definitely, I mean, that's the whole when you experience that racist, right? Like the racism that they say that's so much in your face in America, where it's a little bit different. When you see that just for real in Latin America, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, wow.
There was a whole debate on the basketball court the other day, bro. They were trying to figure out if the black kid was white or black by Brazilian standards. Like, it was funny. It wasn't like it wasn't arguing, but he's like, nah, he's white. I was like, nah, dude, he's black. And they didn't really understand how I was determining that so quickly. They were like, what? How do you figure that? I'm like, hold on.
He looks like Brother Ali.
If the police stopped him right now, what would he be? And they were like, oh, shit. I was like, exactly. Like, damn, that's actually a very easy metric to follow. I was like, exactly. And they're like, wow,
that's
man.
A great way.
I was like, bro, you live in America. You figure that shit out really quick. Because everything, they can have more nuanced discussion about who, like, the level of blackness a person. Because, if you know Brazilians, bro, you can have a black Brazilian dad, a white Brazilian mom, and then the white Brazilian kid that they have looks like the black dad, and the black Brazilian kid they have looks like the white mom. Like, if y'all seen my son doesn't look like, he doesn't have me or my wife's skin tone. He has my dad's skin tone and her mom's skin tone, but he has my face, even though me and my wife are both darker. It's actually insane. But and she's like, yeah, well, it's Brazil. That's kind of how it works out here. Like, we need another class based out here. Yeah. Race is an issue, but it is not the only or the principal issue that most Brazilians are dealing with or conversing about on a day-to-day basis.
By the way, I'm here with Nico House. He's talking Brazil. We're talking Iran. We're talking about Marxism. We're talking about socialism. We talked about the New York Knicks. We talked a little bit about everything on Drive Time in the morning. Every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be here fielding your calls with my man, Sleepy J, and a special co-host every day of the week. Tuesdays, we're doing Nico House. That is that beautiful man you see there. Tomorrow, we'll have on Karen Kwiatkowski. Thursday, we usually have on Kyle Anzalone, but he's on assignment, so we're going to be having Tatiana Meroz, who I like to call the Polish Lisa Loeb. Beautiful songs, too, as well. And on Fridays, we have Andrew Zigman, who looks like he's from the Lord of the Rings, and he's talking about a mime. You'll see when you call in. We like to talk a little bit about everything and anything you guys want to talk about. We want you to have your coffee with us every single day. I can't thank you guys enough. The show has been growing, seeing people in the chat, being so lovely, being so friendly. Thank you so much. Nico, did you see the Michael Jackson movie? Did we talk about the Michael Jackson movie?
So I haven't gotten to yet because I'm trying to take my oldest son, because
what about this other movie, though?
What about it's a poor memory?
What about you? Have you been hearing about this other movie, the Spielberg movie now? The The one about the day of coming or reckoning. What's it called, Sleepy?
I haven't seen that one.
Everybody's talking about.
I am not the one to ask about movies.
Everybody's
man.
talking about this movie. Let me go really quickly. I'm gonna pull up.
Friday.
It came out last week, and it was a Spielberg movie about like they're gonna tell the American people or the world
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. Disclosure. Right. It's called Disclosure Day. Here. I'm gonna bring the trailer. Guys, I'm gonna put the trailer for Disclosure Day on. Thank you so much. If you want to call in, 561-247-2721. That's 561-247 Bernie Sanders Blackjack. Please do so. This is it. I can't believe you haven't seen this. Everybody's talking about this. Here we are.
I can see you. I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth. This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
What's happening to me? I'm frightened. I'm frightened out of my wits.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Keller.
Who is this?
Do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human rights
terrible.
What we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? This 79-year cover-up of the truth has to end.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy, and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves. The only way to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began. I know you.
I know you do. What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know they're coming? All of this is true.
Bro, that deer, he looks like he mean business, man.
Disclosure Day.
It must have been an inspiration for Ohio State.
This look dumb as hell.
It looks like another like attempt to, I don't know, paint aliens as the bad guys, which is kind of weird. I don't know what's up with the
Independence Day, baby.
Yeah, like I just don't understand what the obsession is of painting aliens as like these problematic. Like it's built on the, you know what? That's the American. That is the American way, because that's what we would do if we discovered a new land and we were more powerful than everybody. We would go in there and try to take it over by any means necessary. So wouldn't aliens do that? If they're way more advanced than us, that they could arrive here with no problem. They don't even come here with a fleet. They just come here like a couple people deep, 2 ships deep. I said, why the hell would they feel the need to conquer us? They don't need to. We're not a threat to them. I just feel like it's a very Western mindset to assume that just interactions, the general public interacting with aliens would be problematic because aliens would want to conquer the world if they arrived.
We still boiling water to make power. Fucking A.
Yeah, unnecessarily so.
Yo.
Right?
How was the review that Derek Bros did, by the way? I know that Matt is going to have on Derek Bros on Thursday, and they're going to talk about that show. So it's kind of,
you know what we got to do? You know, there should be a movie about pasta. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to go ahead, Hollywood. You can borrow this one because y'all ain't got no fucking original ideas anymore. How about y'all show us the alien who came to the planet with great intentions, accidentally hit the U.S., unfortunately for him, and then they start having his technology, he just starts having all his technology stolen so that the U.S. and then the world, consequently, plan an invasion of his planet. How about fuck we do a movie about that? How about that film? Because that is what the reality shows us. That's what history of America and the Western world shows us. If we discover his technology when he had good, because that would just be effectively a universe. The universal story of Native Americans and indigenous populations all over the world, right?
I'd like to thank Indy for joining the show a little bit earlier today. Last time he jumps in with like 15 minutes left, but thank you, Indy. I'm glad you got your kids to school quicker and you got in the chat. Guys, if you want to call in, talk to Nico, me, Sleepy J, 561
Occupy Planets.
Occupy Planets, 561-247-2721. Disclosure Day. Somebody said that Spielberg needs to disclose his fucking inappropriate behavior. Was he all up in those Epstein files? I'm sure that,
as we say in Portuguese, man, ele tem cara. He looks like it. He looked like the kind of guy. He got that,
Is he as Zionist like Jerry Seinfeld?
Bruh. Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld
y'all didn't know Jerry Seinfeld was a pedophile before? Like, was it not? Y'all didn't get you did you like Jerry Seinfeld?
He had to pick up his girlfriend from high school. What the fuck?
I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. I never really watched. I didn't like Seinfeld. I thought it was.
I despise, bro. I've never watched Friends because of Seinfeld.
Friends?
Yeah, because it took me forever to watch. Not My Wife and Kids. That's the opposite. What's that one show that's basically Friends but for millennials? The one with Neil Patrick Harris.
We got it.
How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother. Which is basically Friends.
Let's get to the phone caller.
Yeah. So because Jerry Seinfeld ruined white comedy for me, so I just refuse to watch any other white comedy shows.
Please. No. Let's get to the caller. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I'm Snort from Iowa.
Yeah,
is this Snorky?
You're on.
And I'll be probably in the storm zone tomorrow too.
Stay safe, man. It looks like a gnarly one. I'm in the red tomorrow.
What you got for a Snorky?
I haven't checked, but about the UFOs. Usually, whenever something is going on that PR-wise, the government gets backed into a corner, several things happen. Usually, all kinds of stories about UFOs start coming out. Here's proof of UFOs, and usually if I see that there's proof of UFOs, that means they're pulling out their cards that they need a pause till they can try to figure out something to cover up what's going on or move the story on so that we don't talk about whatever's being talked about. And I've seen where if you actually read the instrumentation up on their screen, so like on the heads-up display on the aircraft, they say they're in a corner and something like that. Their instrumentation does not show that they're turning, and it's.
Oh, say that. Can you repeat that? I didn't understand.
Oh, so there's a heads-up display. It's on their screen. They can see like little copies of their instruments on the screen. And one of them is it'll show if they're turning, if they're upright, speed, stuff like that, angles where they're at. So if they're actually turning, you would actually see on there the direction changing. And so when they're talking about, hey, I'm in a major turn, then their heads-up display should also show that they're in a train. Most of us aren't very well acclimated to any kind of instrumentation we see with aircraft. So most of us just buy that as being, okay, the realistic story. And so there's other stories that tend to go up. I can remember back in this is conspiracy theory, but I can remember back in the 80s when everything got really bad. This was during the Reagan administration. When everything got really bad, it seemed like either Lindsay Lohan or Winona Ryder would get arrested.
Yeah, I know, right?
Crazy.
Winona Ryder was before Lindsay Lohan.
It was Winona
Lohan
Ryder and Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah,
Yup.
Lindsay Lohan was the second comer of the
That was my
kleptomaniac,
generation right there.
right? Is that the proper terminology? Kleptomaniac, right?
Yeah, but again, like I said, that's just conspiracy theory. It's like we had major events happen. Do you remember a while back MH 370, I think 340, 370, where a plane went down after taking off in Malaysia? I think.
Yes.
And
Oh, I forgot
that
about
was
that.
only thing that was on the news. What else was going on during that period of time? Nothing was talked about. They'd break into the news and say, we think aliens might have stolen the aircraft and stuff like that. I mean,
I forgot about that.
What was going on during that time? How many people know about the WIPP fire, where our spent plutonium stockpile caught fire? And so the scientists are thinking we should evacuate Texas.
I did not know that.
Did you ever hear anything about? Did you hear anything about? Yeah, just you Google and say WIPP fire, and just wait a second. This is some classified information. Why didn't we hear about it? Wouldn't this be like the biggest thing that you'd heard? So they lost containment, and they were venting plutonium to the sky because somebody tried to. This is a government issue where they wanted to use vermiculite to store the plutonium in because it can handle high heat, but it's also a component of some cheap kitty litter. So somebody thought, well, it's kitty litter, but I can get this kitty litter cheap. So they bought kitty litter that was based on, I believe, I might be wrong on this, sawdust. Well, sawdust can't handle the temperatures of spent plutonium because it's going to sit there being hot for years. And again, suddenly nothing was in the news. Another one you can Google.
Wait, spell that again. Is WICT or TC?
PP.
TP. WITP.
WITP. Yeah.
Snorky's a professor here. We have several professors on this show. He's one of them.
I can hear. He's like, yeah, that guy
probably retired. Probably retired.
You got hired over here.
So it happened just for the audience
time in the morning. So that's your new job. Go keep going.
For the audience's information, it was February 2014, right, Snarky? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. It was a while back.
Yeah. The Waste Isolation Pilot Plant, WIPP, in New Mexico experienced two separate, unrelated, allegedly, incidents: an underground fire involving a salt haul truck and a subsequent radioactive release from a breached plutonium waste drum. That's what he's referring to.
And you've never heard that in the news, right?
No, I had no idea.
But you know exactly where that WIPP fire went down, or that plane went down.
Oh yeah, man. They did serious about that.
The Malaysia plane was kind of interesting, right? You talked about that. Didn't they find something with like an orb going around it and just disappearing?
Supposedly.
Yeah, orb. When they can't find anything else, there goes the aliens. Another good one. 1993, I believe. There was, if people died from like water contamination or something, usually just a few people dead make it into the news. 103 people died. Milwaukee, Illinois, 1993. The actual contaminant was cryptosporidium. They're taking it from Lake Michigan, and they got fouled water. And like I said, 103 people dead. That should make the news, right?
Yeah, especially back then.
So you could go on. You can go onto Google. You can type in Milwaukee, Milwaukee cryptosporidium, 1993, and you should be able to pull up an article on that. Wait a second. If hundreds of thousands of people were hospitalized for this, wouldn't that make the news?
Yeah, 100%. It should.
What made the news that morning?
What?
I was 4 years old.
4 years old. There was a fire in Texas where a religious fanatic had a compound, and Nothing
What's
but
his
that was
name?
in the news until they got a water supply established for Milwaukee.
The Colt guy?
Is Koresh
Talking
or
about David
something?
Koresh in Waco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, whenever I see a big news story, I'm thinking, okay, what bad happened?
Yeah,
You know,
something like that comes up. Start
Yo.
doing some digging, y'all.
But-
'Cause something's being covered up.
Did you see the show Friday, Snorky? Friday,
What
did
show?
you watch with us?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm going to play this again. This is kind of what Snorky's talking about. He goes, when something's going on, they distract you with something else. If you're watching Drive Time in the morning or listening to Drive Time in the morning, call on in if you feel like it. Here we go.
Okay, thank you for waiting. The president has asked me to come out and make a brief statement about the wire that just went out a couple minutes ago. To make things short, I will just confirm that yes, we do have a moon base, and yes, we are currently experiencing some bear problems. Now, I will open it up if there are any questions.
Mr. Press Secretary, Mr. Press Secretary, Mr. Press Secretary.
New York Times.
Yes, I have a 11-part question.
I'm sorry, I don't have time for two.
All right, let me get this straight. So the United States government is admitting that we do have a moon base and that there is a bear problem on said moon base.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, follow-up question. Are you fucking with us?
No, we are not, and I would like to remind everyone to keep the language civilized. This is the White House.
Excuse me, Mr. Secretary, Bob Daniels, Newsweek.
Mr. Daniels.
How long have we had the moon base? And are these bears Earth bears or are they from the moon?
I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to disclose how long we have had this moon base at this time. We do believe these to be Earth bears. We have no reason to believe these to be lunar bears or even Saturn bears.
Todd Albright, PBS. There's Saturn bears?
I am also not at liberty to go into the various types of woodland life forms on Saturn or any of the other 12 planets.
9 planets.
Right. I've said too much already. What I can show you is the images that have been beamed down to us from the Odyssey satellite system just a couple hours ago. This is the view out of the front door of the United States Secret Moon Base. This was taken yesterday before we discovered the bear problem. And this one was taken just a couple hours ago.
Oh, bro.
So, as you can see, bears everywhere.
Yeah, those bears appear to have guns and motorcycles.
We believe they may be involved in some sort of intergalactic drug cartel, perhaps affiliated with one of the interstellar wizard alliances.
Wizard alliances?
Yes, next question.
Just a thought, more of a shot in the dark, but we wouldn't happen to be invading Iran today, would we?
Oh,
you got me.
I fell for it. You almost got away with that one.
No, I went too far. I almost had it. I should have stopped after the slides. I knew I should have stopped
didn't
there.
think anything about it until the cartel thing, and I was like, what?
Okay, all right. Let's forget this whole thing. Who wants a drink? First round's on me. Come on.
Yeah!
Imagine being able.
Bro.
And that's how it is. There's bears
also,
on the moon. to
R.I.P. to
distract
that
you.
guy.
What?
That guy's dead now, so R.I.P. to that guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man, that's
seriously. But that's what they do there, Snorky. When they have something, we're going to go invade Iran. Let's talk about bears on the moon base. So distract you with whatever they got. Kind of similar to what you're talking. I mean, you're talking actual real life. That was just funny comedy made, but had a lot of meaning.
Nah, that's. I feel like it actually got. So I got to a point doing reporting and analysis where it was hard for me to report day-to-day news because every time something would drop, I'm like, yeah, but this isn't really the news.
Yeah, they nuked our stream, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard.
It's probably my fault. I probably shouldn't have brought up Milwaukee.
No, it was the clip.
Who nuked our stream?
YouTube.
It's off.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Violation.
Really?
Yep.
Come
It did not
on.
get nuked on my side.
No, it's not up.
Go to Nico or go to Rumble.
Yeah, I shared it on my on my
We played it
Twitter.
before.
Huh? What did y'all get nuked for?
Playing a clip that got copyrighted.
That quick?
Okay.
Yep.
That is, bro.
I've never seen I've never seen copyright hit during in the middle of one. It's usually after.
Yeah, it's usually they usually demonetize you after the fact.
See, this is the shit they do. Once again, they don't want you to get momentum. They don't want you to start.
Hey, bro, we said alien one too many times, Pasta. You can't say alien and Iran that many times. And my man Starkey was dropping too much. No, they said, oh no, we gotta get him up out of here.
That's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous.
I mean, that's why on my old show we just didn't play shit for clips, man, because they do that shit all the time.
I would so try to see if they let you restart it.
It doesn't even say.
Hold on. I'm looking at it right now. It says you're live.
Went back on.
Yeah. Okay. So
I guess
it looks like it did hit you for a second.
StreamYard might have kept pushing it.
That's crazy.
That's nuts, man.
So this is the shit we gotta do. I'm sorry. That should not be getting you taken down. A less than 3 minute
clip. That's an old ass show, dude.
Bro,
he's not even alive.
There's no way they had copyright on that for YouTube. Bro.
That's the shit we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube
I can't even tell you what show that was from.
The white guy, what's it called?
The Whitest Kids You Know, I think, or something.
The Whitest Kids You Know. Yeah.
That's funny.
But I like to call it the whitest kid you know. Snorky, what else you got for us, Bubba?
That's about it. I'll call in later this week.
Definitely call in tomorrow. Get us taken off the air tomorrow too, buddy. We love you. Thank you so much, Snorky from Iowa.
All right. Bye.
Wow.
He came in dropping fires.
15-year-old clip, and they're gonna fucking because it was all, we wouldn't be happy to be bombing Iran today.
I think it was the Iran thing. You say Iran and it was instant.
Hey, how did Iran have nukes? But it was Snarky came in here dropping bombs and nuking the channel. That's crazy. They can't have them if Snarky got all of them.
Hey, which name are you calling from?
Hi, this is Amanda Marie Brinkley. I'm always in your chat. I'm so shy, but I love to talk about world peace, and I just want you guys to talk about world peace. Like, how do you think we can get there? And how do you think introverts can help? Because, like, half of people seem to be very introverted like me, and, like, it's really hard for me to call right now, but I just want to hear you guys talk about this. Like, I wanted to trend online. How do you think we could get world peace trending with influencers?
Yeah. Can I start with that, Nico? Do you mind? First female caller? Yeah, but we have a nice female guest on Wednesdays. And thank you, Amanda Marie Brinkley. I see you in the chat all the time. I appreciate the love you get. Now, to answer your first part of your question, because some other people are saying I'm an introvert here. We'll get to that secondly. How do we get to world peace first, right? That is the $1 million question. I think that there's been this big type of global psyops of sorts, right? Where they've constantly pitted people against each other. And anytime people start getting like a little bit of a understanding about what's going on and start to unite, they find a way to nuke it up, have a war, whatever. Nico mentioned Fred Hampton earlier in the stream. Fred Hampton, he kind of promoted what he called the Rainbow Coalition. And he understood very clearly that our issues are more involved around class, or at least if we want to get some global peace, if we want to be able to make sure that everybody's fed. I've said before, how is it like an absurd comment when I say that nobody should go hungry on this planet, that nobody should go unhoused on this planet, right? I think that we have to continue to push for everybody's level of comfortability and not having bombs dropped on their head is still the way to go to eventually have some form of world peace. I mean, I don't know if that's a sufficient enough answer for you, but I definitely think that the issue more than anything is that we are divided as human species on this planet, and those who have the leverage of power are making sure that we stay divided. So recognizing the divisiveness is the first part, and pushing back against that, and understanding that poor child, that starving child is my child, is your child, that we are one and connected, and to recognize that suffering, so therefore we can push back against the suffering and find peace. That's the first step to that, right?
Can I distill that a little bit for you, Pasta?
Go ahead, and I'll come back to the introvert after.
So basically what Pasta's saying is that the world, especially the Western world, has been convinced that there is scarcity of resources and that we don't have enough for everyone to eat and everyone to live comfortably and basically have humane dignity, live in humane dignity. If everyone has the essentials, now you are more free to become educated. You are more free to talk to your neighbors. You're free to engage, whether it be civically or just socially. And you are less likely to hate your neighbors, and you're also less likely to be divided if you have your basic needs. And now you don't have to go look for a scapegoat, and you can't be convinced that there is a scapegoat for what you don't have. So whenever it's time to unite someone in their hatred for somebody, you can't do it. And a lot of the time, at least over the last century, we can make an argument that the United States and the West have been able to go to war because of a level of bigotry that was pushed, that united Americans or united Englishmen or united the French or NATO powers. The Germans are evil and problematic. The Russians are evil and problematic. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Koreans, or this part of Korea, not the other part. You know what I'm saying? They were always able to unite people behind what they don't have, and saying that those people are trying to take it away. But if everyone has the bare minimum essentials, like Pasta was referring to, then it becomes very, very difficult to convince people to go die for something they already have.
Yeah, and by the way they do convince people that the resources are scarce, that's just more about a small ruling class wanting to own the majority of those resources by fooling people and convincing them that there's a scarcity of resources for everybody when there's plenty to go enough around this planet.
It's an abundance.
Yeah.
There is an abundance.
As far as the introvert, right? Get yourself an extrovert friend, right? That's the thing. Like, look, I have friends of mine that are kind of like introverted. My sister can be a little bit of an introvert. I'm an extrovert, right? But there are people like myself as an extrovert, but I recognize the beauty and the brain a lot of introverts have, right? Like a lot of introverts, the way their thinking is a little bit different than extroverts. Extroverts are always thinking about, what do I say? How do I build bridges? My mind is thinking on a different level than an introvert. But, just because you are an introvert doesn't mean you can't give out or express whatnot. And you could do that through extroverted friends, having conversations, having relationships. We always would talk. Nico would make that comment. I remember being in DC and we're all sitting down as a group of journalists or podcasters, whatever. And Riza Islam comes walking by and they see them. I immediately jump up and I go running over there to talk to that person. And when I get back to the table, the conversation was, man, you could just get up and go talk to anybody and do anything at any time like that, where they're not used to that. They're not used to going into a room where people don't know them. They feel uncomfortable about that. And I understand that. But when you find that kind of connectivity with an extroverted friend, you know what I'm saying? You just feel more relaxed, more safer, and express yourself. And that information that you give me, like, a life is insignificant unless it has special impact on others. So I listen to everybody else so that furthers my life to make an impact on other people out there. So just get with somebody you're comfortable with. And there'll be some extroverted friends out there, Mrs. Brinkley, that will love to just hang with you. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll recognize and see that beautiful mind you have.
Can I say too? Introverts seem to have a natural, or extroverts actually seem to seek out introverts for some reason. And as an introvert, you just kind of have to be willing to accept them into your life. Even if it's like, damn, this extrovert, man, he be doing the most sometimes, but I need him in my life. Because I would make an argument that the thing that made Pasta and Fiorella's relationship so special was because Pasta is a super extrovert. And although Fee can communicate, she can socialize, Fee is not an extrovert. It is very difficult for Fee to get up and want to deal with y'all motherfuckers every day. And for me, I'm actually in between. I always call myself an extroverted introvert. I react extrovertedly because I recognize the importance of it. I know I have the ability to do so. But for me, being an extrovert is draining. Like, I can do it because I've been conditioned to do it. But I don't. If I have a choice, I would actually prefer to stay in the house and hang out with my family and talk to my family and my kids. But outside of that, if I go out in the streets, I'm actually a very quiet person until someone initiates interaction. And I'm like, well, now I have a responsibility to bring out my extroverted side and build this bridge.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
Yeah, I do talk to strangers sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm an extrovert introvert.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought that
No,
that
don't
was me.
apologize.
Yeah, I feel extroverted introvert at times because like I am very chatty in the chat and like I do talk to strangers a lot. But like it's just like organizing. How do we organize all these people who should be activists who really passionately care, who are terrified of like every volunteer role? Like I love the Green Party, and I think that's like the greatest vehicle to get us to like ranked choice voting or something better like star voting.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the magic really happens like when organizing, they happen in the small meetings when it's just the groups are talking, what's going on. That's where the introvert will shine. You know what I'm saying? And the extroverts will be able to go, man, that's a great idea, Miss Introvert. Let me take that and run with them. So there, in those communities, there's always spaces where you'll be able to get your opinions out. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, sometimes what's said, right? It's just important how it's said than what is said. And that's where the extrovert comes into play. And I pay attention to people, the way they react, the way they sound. So my art isn't talking to people. I can go into a room where nobody knows me, leave the room and everybody loves me, right? But you know, there's an old saying out there.
Or hate you, but they're going to make a decision. They're not going to leave.
You know, in between. There'll be no in between. And the thing is, they said that there's an old saying, right? That geniuses borrow. Well, thieves steal, but geniuses borrow. I borrow so much shit from the introverts and stuff all the time, man. I don't have to take. I'm like, I heard this from somebody else. I heard that. You know what I'm saying? I borrow all the time, and I'm usually borrowing from an introvert who just doesn't really express themselves the way I do. So
yeah, facts. One of my best friends here in Brazil is an introvert. He's English, and like he does actually fakes his content because he just is not really a fan of being on camera. Handsome guy, very well spoken, but is not a fan of it. So what often ends up happening is like whenever we're planning something, he'll tell me what the plans are. Like, I don't know how they're feeling about it, but I know what that actually means is, hey man, go check on them and get a real in the room and convince them that it's a good idea, and also convince the wives and plan it out. Like, cause I know he doesn't want to deal with it, but he wants to do it, and we both think it's a good idea. But there are sometimes, like for example, for work stuff, I'll go to him and be like, hey man, this is just a lot. I really don't feel like dealing with this. And he'll have you say I could just sit in the office, lock myself in the door, and I have an excuse not to talk to people. Hell yeah, I'll do it. Like he's like that. So it's kind of like you have to figure out what your role is in the movement, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be on the outspoken side. It doesn't mean you have to be giving speeches. It doesn't mean you have to be knocking on doors. Your side could be in the administrative side, which we need. We probably need that more than more motherfuckers like me and Pasta talking all the damn time. We need more people who are willing to
we
not
need more tech
keep the
experts.
spotlight.
Eric T. Red to Sabrina Salvati, like to help people run shows, because like so many female creators do not know what they're doing when it comes to tech.
That's true. There's a lot of male creators too, to be honest with you.
Oh, you know tech stuff? You know tech stuff? Get her number. We got your number. We're going to call you
Hey,
back.
I was going to say, hold up. No, you can't have all the people.
Miss Introvert, we got some stuff for you.
Hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
Where you at? Is it beautiful?
definitely
How's
need to
the
be
weather
more
where you're at
active.
today, by the way?
Me?
What's
Miss
that?
Brinkley, how's the weather where
Yes.
you at?
The weather, I don't know. I actually hide in my room all the time. It's probably gorgeous. It's North Carolina. It's basically always gorgeous here.
Where at? If you don't mind me asking.
I live just north of Charlotte, near Lake Norman.
Word. Okay. You know, I lived in
champions
Fayetteville. That's
too.
where I went to high school in I went to high school in Fayetteville and graduated from UNC.
Oh, you went to UNC?
Yeah.
Tar Heel.
I'm a
That's
Tar
great. I
Heel.
love Tar Heels. I always fall for Tar Heel fans in the state.
Yeah.
Like I love the 2009 Tar Heels. I actually asked. I don't know if you guys have seen No Fouls Given. I asked the all the Smoke guys to have the Tar Heels and the Celtics on, and they literally have a show now. And like Kevin Garnett had a show. Like,
All the Smoke guys, like from like the basketball, like Matt Barnes.
yeah. Yeah.
Really?
And Stephen Jackson. Yeah.
It's Steve Jackson. Stack 5. Yeah. I'm a Tar Heel. I was there during the national championship.
Nico and Amanda, right? Congratulations. The Carolina Hurricanes just won the Stanley Cup.
What?
So y'all are champions in North Carolina too. Nico, you got the best of both worlds.
Bro, I'm about to hit a trifecta when Brazil wins. If we can play better than we did against Morocco.
Brazil is not winning the World Cup. Brazil is not winning the World Cup.
Hey, you haven't seen? Whenever the Knicks have been in the finals, when the World Cup has been in the United States, Brazil wins.
Brazil is not winning the World Cup with this team.
Yes, we are.
No
Bro, why would you
way.
wish that evil upon me? Why?
I'm not wishing it, and I've loved a lot of the past Brazilian teams, but I don't think they're winning with this team over here. This is not one of their better teams. The way I watched them the other night, I was very disappointed.
But okay, so you have to understand too in context. Morocco had like the best, the best left back in the world, and they had one of the best center backs in the world, and our attacker Thiago. So his name is Igor Thiago. I can't believe we put a guy named Igor in to be our lead attacker. But that's a different conversation for a different day. But I don't think that he'll be the primary attacker going forward. So like, and our midfield isn't the best, but that won't be as much of a problem with Rafinha and Vinny going forward either. But that Morocco team was the champion. They won the African championship. So it wasn't like, that's not a weak team by any stretch of the imagination. So, and you fucking hater, don't be wishing that upon me.
I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying that I don't think that team's going to win.
It'll probably be France, to be honest with you. But still.
I was rooting my ass off for Iran yesterday, almost getting that third goal, man. That was great. Amanda, what else you got for us? And thank you so much for calling in. We love the fact we got a female caller, and I don't think we've had that yet. So you are the first of your kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you win a free toaster. I got to send it out to you. Does anybody even have toasters anymore?
I have a toaster.
I saw a toaster the other day for the first time in like years.
He's in Brazil.
Oh,
but we don't. But they don't have toasters in Brazil like that.
One time, honestly, my brother passed away. And there was this toaster I had that he had like given me. It was a $75 toaster. It was a 4-slice toaster. I think every house should have a 4-slice toaster, and like we just need to care about all the things people have in their homes, like as world peace activists. You guys did not answer my last question, was how to get world peace trending across social media.
I try to answer that. I try to get it trending. I don't know. Realization of what the enemy in front of us is first, right? Understanding that your neighbor is not the problem. It's the ruling class. That's the first step. However, that's really tough to get because people are pointing the finger at each other as they are economically stressed. Listen, all biases are hyperinflated at a time of economic distress. And the world, the planet is in economic distress. So when you're in economic distress, you always blame the guy across the street, not the ruling class. So for me, it's recognizing the ruling class first. Did we lose her?
Yeah, but
yeah.
Did you hang up on us, Amanda? We didn't even get to say goodbye.
Introverts don't say bye.
I didn't hang it up.
Out. They slide out, bro. You know, introvert. You know, they say you spend I don't know how many minutes, a good portion of your life saying goodbye at parties if you say goodbye to everybody. So you know, introverts just slide. They text you goodbye.
Thanks up in the chat, girl. Thank you so much for calling our first caller ever, female caller ever. That was awesome. Unless I missed somebody, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. But
no, we got to confirm that was the first female caller. That's crazy, bro. You did the show 5 days a week, and that's your first female caller. It sounds like you should have a young and handsome devil on like myself on more often. That's what I heard.
You know what? You know,
if I don't say it, Pa's gonna say it, so I gotta get ahead of him.
We gotta get the soundbite with Eddie Murphy stamping up and down, "Sexy chocolate." You know when he does that and Coming to America.
I call myself cinnamon though. That's what my wife called me. She's like, "You like cinnamon? You're not like chocolate. You're more like cinnamon or dulce de leche." You know what that is? Like it's basically caramel.
I love dulce de leche. It's amazing. Yeah. Salted caramel is like my jam right now. Fuck.
Really?
Salted caramel?
It's so random. Pasta, you're the most random individual, bro. I swear to God.
Worlds, baby.
Hey, man. Pasta, you live so many lives, man. I lived a lot of lives. Pasta, you definitely got me beat. And he's like not even done yet. He's just like, there's going to be a documentary about pasta after when it's all said and done.
I hope it's about pasta. I really hope I get the chance to do a few things that I want to do. One of them is to kind of do a whole series, like an Anthony Bourdain series about where I go to eat and talk about the food. Obviously, Anthony Bourdain's got a lot of chops. You know what? We want to talk about a dickhead who doesn't have any fucking chops. Has got such a following as that Dave Portnoy jerk off with pizza.
Bro, he's an op, bro. He's an op.
He's like a dwarf too. He's tiny, man.
Fucking
he's a tiny little angry Zionist, man.
But that dwarf, that small man Napoleon complex, it explains everything. And it's all, so the people that are like him, right, who've always wanted to be good at sports but never could because they're small, unathletic. So they always talk the most shit about the most athletic people, right? And somehow they get super famous for it. But I think that's because he's a Zionist and he's He's a piece of shit. And unfortunately, being a piece of shit, being a Zionist, and being a dumbass is very lucrative, actually. That's the reality of it. I wish that it would be people who actually uplifted athletes that became more successful. And I think that we're starting to see that trend as athletes enter the media space. But yeah, man, it's frustrating watching Dave Portnoy continue to cash out no matter how much bullshit he gets caught in. Like, dude was basically cheering for genocide.
Yeah, and the way he belittled people for just talking and making jokes, like he
On
was
his
such
show?
an Uncle Tom about it. Like, oh my God, how can you make jokes about Jewish people? That's awful. How many people got to die before you stop making jokes? It's like, did you just say that out loud,
if he
dude?
could do a food show, bro, you get bro. What? His food show is trash. I tried to watch. I was like, okay, so he's eating some pizza. Is he going to tell me anything about the history of the pizza? Or nope, it's really good. It's really bad. I like it. I love it. Like, I'm okay. I'm getting nothing from this. He's like basically doing
He
side
did that?
Huh?
He actually did that? What the fuck?
Yo, yeah, no, he literally he would go to different pizza. If I'm not mistaken, Pasta was pizza places specifically, right?
Yeah.
Dude, there's much more better dishes than pizza. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, pizza's great, but it's once again, he doesn't like when he rates these pizza, he doesn't go, for me, if I was rating a pizza, if I'm doing a breakdown of pizza, I'm going to talk about 1, the dough, how it's made, how it's crisp, but not 2, the sauce, 3, the cheese. Like I would break it down. You would know exactly what that pizza would kind of almost taste like the way I'm describing it. And the things you like about pizza, you've been able to compartmentalize and say, okay, that's the spot I want to go to. He doesn't do that.
Break down a bologna sandwich, y'all.
And whatnot.
Pasta would break down a bologna sandwich if you ask him to.
Yes, I will. By the way,
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Money in Politics. It said salted caramel, butterscotch, pasta, crave desserts based on what his dates look like.
Oh, damn, Pasta, she knows you. Do you know Pasta personally?
Maybe next week will be macchiato. I don't know.
Is that you? Is that you back there? On your birthday?
So money.
Got him to blush a little bit.
I know Pete getting married in July, but I know you get married in July, but I'm still holding out hope that her and Pasta will get married. I'm still holding out hope, man.
I know. Until then, I'll have my 7 girlfriends and I'll be okay. That song by Ludacris.
He's not exaggerating.
Marriott Codes. Yeah.
I wish I could say Pasta was exaggerating.
So the other
Pasta's like the white journalist version of Drake. That man got so many girl problems, dog. He can do 3 albums. He can do 3 albums, man. He got the kind of problems
right?
You hate he got the problems you love to hate to have. That's
Sure, if you say so. If I found one, I'd be happy with one. If I found the one. By the way, you've had the Dubai chocolate bar, right?
No.
You've never had the Dubai chocolate bar? It's
fucking thing like $20.
Well, they're cheaper now. They're getting cheaper. What it is they take like this, I think it's called, correct me if I say it wrong, chat, Kafka of sort. It's like the string pieces of like a baklava, like that pastry, that flaky pastry, phyllo dough. So they take all that and they mix it with a pistachio cream, put it inside of chocolate. So it's chocolate with this kind of phyllo dough induced pistachio cream inside. So when you bite into it, it's kind of like got this like crunchy silkiness of pistachio cream with the chocolate. It's amazing. People make them, and I make them all the time. Talking about the butterscotch, I made a butterscotch Kafka with the chocolate and salted. So it was like a Dubai bar, but made with butterscotch inside with salt on the chocolate. It was amazing. But don't keep that shit in the house, especially if you want to have a diet. Gabriel's going to call me later on and yell at me for that shit, So what are you
by
doing?
the way, Indy, you're absolutely right. I am very I'm so anti this pistachio movement. I'm very anti. I used to love eating just regular pistachios, and I leave it at that. These motherfuckers got entire cooking shows dedicated to pistachio restaurants now and pistachio bakeries. I'm like, what the hell?
Ain't that fucking
eat this shit? Why we always got to take everything to the max? Jesus Christ.
So we used to make this Nutella pizza at this one place, and it was like a pizza with Nutella cream and then marshmallows on top, and then we would sprinkle it with crushed pistachios. So you get the marshmallows, pistachios, and Nutella like on a Bro,
I remember when nobody knew what the hell Nutella was. I knew what Nutella was because I had this girl who was like in love with me, and she would force me to eat. She's from Germany.
Yeah.
And she was like, I bring this back from Germany every time I go. I'm like, what the hell is this? It looks like chocolate. And she's like, it's kind of like chocolate, but it's better. I'm like, okay, let me try. I was like 14, 15 years old. And I was like, do we have this?
My
And she's like,
weakness.
no.
No. I
was
would
like,
break
what?
fucking down for Nutella. Nutella is the shit. It is one of my favorite things on this planet.
I like hazelnuts, but it's too strong, man. They need to like.
So when I make chocolate martinis, I mix the last part before I put the cinnamon and the whipped cream on top. I put it in the blender and put like a little teaspoon of Nutella.
Yeah. Well, you can make your own Nutella. You can
I'm
make your own
on a
Nutella.
Dunkin' diet right now, but you know what I'm saying. But woo, boy, look,
hazelnuts, dates, and cocoa, right? The real stuff. That together, a little pinch of salt, a little splash of vanilla. Those three together can get you like a homemade Nutella, you know. But you want to have the good soft hazelnuts. You want to make sure they're peeled off, whatnot. You can soak them in a little hot water and then let them drain, and then go in with your dates and your cacao, and that together will give you like a Nutella. Like that's much more healthier than the Nutella you get in the jars. By the way, Nutella in the jars, the brand Nutella just came up with a peanut butter version. So it's like a peanut butter Nutella. Just came out. I just saw it. I was like, oh fuck.
I be having to hide my Nutella in the crib now. Because my wife and my sister-in-law had never eaten it because it's expensive, right? In Brazil. So I started buying it because I like having it. You know, I eat it on sandwiches. Sometimes I eat peanut butter.
Way to have it?
Banana. Huh?
My favorite way to have Nutella is in a toasted croissant with banana and powdered sugar. That's
so I have a lot with croissants. Actually, I do have a lot. And powdered sugar. Actually, it's funny that you say that. And they have restaurants that sell that way here too. But when my sister-in-law tasted Nutella for the first time, all of a sudden my shit started disappearing. I'm like, where's the bottle? Where's my jar of Nutella? I don't know. You didn't eat it all? No, I would know if I ate all my Nutella. My damn 38 Hey Ice bottle of Nutella. Like,
you know what I got to point out too right now before I forget, Nico? Though when the stream went down, most of the people went over to Rumble. Rumble, we almost have 50 followers watch right now. We got like 45. We got 25 back on YouTube. So that's 70 people watching right now. That's without Nico's crowd too as well. It's been really awesome. I am so humbled because in a way I had to kind of take a step back and restart the engines and start getting going again. A lot of that is due to like at the end of the day. At the end of we got a caller. Let's get a caller. What do you got? Who is it? What are you calling for? I hear my mom yelling. By the way.
Oh, this is DJ Hyona. Craig knows me. I'm sorry, Pasta. What's happening, Nico? I just chiming in here today from the AM Wake Up fams to throw a couple of jabs at the FIFA World Cup being hosted primarily in the United States, although there are 2 sites in Canada and 3 in Mexico. But anyways, thanks for taking my call. Good to hear from you, old friend.
Absolutely, Yona.
My question to you, Pasta, about this World Cup. Of course, you know, justifiably so much has been made about Artan, the referee from Somalia that was the African Official of the Year being sent back and some of those things. But what I'm more particularly wanting to point out is, you know, everyone remembers when Trump got booed at MSG, Madison Square Garden, at the Knicks game the other night.
Yeah, we do.
Where he was a guest of the owner, Mr. Dolan, who's put the facial recognition flock-style cameras all over the MSG property, and it's come out that there's blacklist and all this stuff. And I ended up tying that into the fact that the 11 stadiums in the United States have all been outfitted with new camera systems, and they've all got temporary fusion centers. And so the only real infrastructure and investment that the U.S. made to host this World Cup in terms of bricks and mortar has been in ramping up surveillance and law enforcement. But in terms of improving transit connections, you know, it's abysmal. Like, for example, trying to get to the new Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the city with no transit system whatsoever. So, you know, obviously the anti-immigrant stance being taken by CBP and ICE at the airports has had a chilling effect on attendance at this year's World Cup. But, you know, my question is really for you and Nico both. How do you guys surmise this fleecing of the host countries in terms of how much money is shelled out. Because, when Brazil hosted the World Cup, they built a lot of stadiums, a lot of infrastructure that they were kind of left holding,
well, not kind of. They're empty.
Yeah.
They're empty. I
that one stadium in the Amazon, right? It just sits empty.
Exactly. That's the one.
Yeah. Nico, you want to tackle this question too first?
Yeah, no,
it's a hard question because I agree with everything that Yona said. It's just that. Go ahead. I'll let you tackle this first.
It's problematic because because of your policies, you're costing Americans money, right? You're costing businesses money that otherwise would have been spent there because, not all of these countries are known for the amount of money they have. But if you can afford to visit the U.S. to go to the World Cup, you are probably someone who could spend money. So there's that. But then there's also everything. You're talking about the transit. It is insane. Not only have they not improved transit and transit connections to get to these places, but if you look at places like New York, bruh, to get from Jersey to, oh my God, they were charging like $90.
You saw that, Nico. They tripled the price, homie. They went dynamic pricing on all the fans.
But you still got to get to work,
especially.
But you still got to get to work.
Just the cost of a ticket, Nico. It's crazy. I'm sorry.
No, you're correct. I said, what? How the hell? I can't believe that Mamdani allowed this to slide. Somebody said, oh, well, he complained about it. You're the mayor of New York, bro. Figure it out. Like, make it a big deal until it can't. Because there's no way that he didn't know about this in advance. And to make it a big, to talk about it briefly a week before, that lets me know that you were complicit in this. And you didn't want to change it. So, like, there's all of that. And then there's the fact that all the surveillance is going to be turned around and used against whom? They're not going to remove the surveillance.
It's not like Mayor Mamdani. He's the mayor of New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does have some say so over, like, I don't know, let's say Metropolitan Transit Authority, like we talking subways and bad trains. He has control over that. Like, come on, man. That's like Trump complaining about how the elections and the laws in the United States is all jacked up. And I'm like, but Trump, you the president. You're the commander-in-chief. How you going to complain about shit being messed up in this country? It's on your watch. If you don't like it, you the one supposed to be able to change it, I thought.
Yeah, so with I'll tell you, with the Metro, so with the Metro, technically speaking, the policies of the Metro have to be approved through the state. However, because he's a Democrat, Kathy Hochul is a Democrat, the Democrats run New York, he could have made this big deal and lobbied and used this stardom that he has, since we're seeing him on camera every 10 minutes, to go and do something about this before the World Cup took off. Because this isn't even like this money is going back to,
It gets worse, Nico, because the United States, in order to host this World Cup, because they hosted it in '94 in Chicago when there was only 24 teams playing 52 games. Now they went to this crazy expansion of 48 teams playing 104 games. And in order to win this bid, United States promised that the transit to and from the games would be FREE free.
What?
And they reneged on all kind of promises, just like the promise that the officials would be allowed to officiate the games when they got their diplomatic passport. But we see that didn't work in Miami. I'm just saying.
That's crazy, man. But it's the same on FIFA.
You know, they had a guy for 11 hours up in MIA grilling him about his Al-Shabaab connections or whatever. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. No, it's FIFA's fault too, because I mean, you let Trump renege on all these promises that were made before he even got in office, if I'm not mistaken. And then on top of all that, so Russia is banned for them defending themselves against NATO's expansion into Ukraine. And then Israel was going to, if they didn't suck so goddamn bad, they were going to be allowed to play if they were able to qualify. But then the United States, in the middle of invading Iran, is allowed to host the U.S. after invading Iran, and you just got done kidnapping a president on false charges, off of false pretense. Like,
guys, I got to tackle this real quick because we're about to wrap up this show,
ahead.
right? Because I don't want to bleed
right,
into other shows and stuff. But let me just say this: thank you for calling. No, dude, you got to make yourself a regular and call in a lot. That's a very interesting point. Yeah. I just want to talk about with sports as a whole, right? How do you square this circle, understanding that this is about bread and circuses, this is about a distraction, and simply when you go out there, you know, you talk to somebody, they'll know who their favorite player went to high school, where he went to college, whatnot, who he played next to, whatnot. But if you ask them if they know who their sitting congressperson or city councilman is, they have no clue whatsoever. And I get that is a problem, right? And I love sports, Yona. I can't even lie. I played sports when I was younger. There's a whole aspect of that too, as well, how sports brings people together, how sports can actually break through, racial biases of sorts. When you're on an offensive line and you got a block, you don't care who that guy is next to you, you come together, right? There is that camaraderie in a locker room that sometimes doesn't see race, religion, or color. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of times they can break through. I believe that sports and food are some of the best barriers. So living in this world of understanding that there are bread and circuses, how do I fight through that? Number one, people love their sports. I use sports to connect with people, right? I know that I have a responsibility and I can't let it distract me, that I got to know what's going on to do the work we're doing over here, to talk about the things, to point out the issues, to expose it. So I use sports as a way of bringing people in to talk about other things. This show you're calling right now is supposed to do that. We were talking about the Knicks earlier, whatnot, but we still understand what's going on, the intricacies of why we're bombing Iran, how we treat black and brown people all over this globe by dropping bombs on them. We understand the class issues. We talk about it, so I use that. But there's another part too as well, Yona. As I get any type of popularity or any jobs that give me access, I want to use the popularity, since we have this nation of like hero worshiping. Well, I want to be able to see and be able to highlight some of these athletes, their hero, the hero worshipers, if they got something interesting to say and kind of elevate it. I don't know about you, but I really do love fucking Kyrie Irving. And I don't love him because he's a great basketball player. I love Kyrie Irving more because of his political views, because he was in this position, since he was able to take a stance on the vaccine. Fuck you. You can take millions out of my pockets. You are not going to force me to take a fucking vaccine. That is powerful. So even though all this bullshit is going on, we talked about the World Cup, I'm going to still use it to my advantage. I'm just going to make sure that I fulfill that responsibility of understanding what's going around me socially and in my community and in the world. And in the States and everything around it too, if that makes any sense. We're getting close to wrap on up.
I really appreciate that, Pasta. You really brought it back to the true spirit of fraternity and peace and camaraderie that sports are really all about. And unfortunately, this expansion, this mismanagement of football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, by this criminal people organization, it feels like bread in circuses ain't for the common folk anymore, because the bread at McDonald's is like $17 for the combo meal, and the ticket to your game is, I mean, more than the rent. You know what I'm saying? So
hit the nail on.
You speaking to the spirit,
hit the nail on the head, man.
It's supposed to be about.
You hit the nail on the head. It said, oh, it's bread and circus. For whom? Because we can't afford it anymore. So it can't be for us. You know what I'm saying? You see those tickets for the Knicks games? It's not for us, but we got to get up out of here, man. We got to get up out of here. Pasta, go ahead and lead us out.
Well, I appreciate you guys' response on that. Thanks for taking my call.
Yona,
whenever I can.
Yona, please go share your music, share your links, dude. I love you, Yona. Come back and call. Be a regular on the show if you get up on time. I know it's early for you. I appreciate you calling in, my friend.
Oh, that's no problem. If you want to follow DJ Hyona, Higyona, you can find all of my truthy type music on Bandcamp. My Rumble channel is Peasants Podcast. I broadcast and simulcast on the New Prisoners Network. Shout out to all my fams at Grand Theft World, my homie Richard Grove, Tony Myers, Lawrence Driggs, Scott, and all y'all. I love you guys, Pasta, Steve, everybody, and Wake Up. Y'all have a good one. God bless. Take care.
See you, Yona. Nico, let them know where they can find you, and then we'll get rolling on out.
Of course, man. You already know. You can find me on YouTube, Nico House, For the People podcast, on X at Real Nico House, Nico with a K, Instagram at Real Nico House, and follow us on Hotspot at Hotspot on X, where we post content every single day, giving you updates, analysis on trending and breaking news.
Yeah. Nico is my friend, my brother from another mother. I love you. You tall, sexy, drink of water. I can't wait to see you, hug you. I love you. You are my friend. You are my brother. You are my You're my everything. Thank you so much for helping me out in the beginning when I got this rolling. It's so fun to be able to do this with you today. And we are champions, New York Knicks, baby. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Tuesday is quickly becoming my favorite day of the week, bro. It's quickly become my favorite work day of the week for sure.
Take your tongue out of my ass there, Nico. Thank you. Love you.
A whole lot of pause on it. Love you too, dog. Peace, guys.
Love you. Get the music going, Sleepy. Look, as we wrap up today's show, let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of diversity of thought and the peace we can cultivate with our neighbors. In a world that often feels divided, it's our differences that can actually bring us together. Every unique perspective, every story shared enriches our collective experience and fosters understanding. Remember, it's okay to disagree. It's how we handle those disagreements that truly matters. Let's embrace dialogue over debate, compassion over conflict. When we listen to one another, we open the door to meaningful relationships. By engaging in our diverse communities, we can find common ground and build bridges that promote peace. So I encourage you to reach out to someone with a different viewpoint. Share a meal, have a conversation, or just simply listen. Let's create a ripple effect of kindness and understanding in our neighborhoods and beyond, because sometimes conflict can often bring resolution. Hey, thank you for tuning in today. Remember, together we can celebrate our diversity and pave the way for a brighter, more peaceful future. So until next time, keep the dialogue flowing and that peace growing. I want to thank CPJ, Nico House, Gabrielle Freedom, all the beautiful callers today. Amanda, we love you. Snorky, Yona, Charles, thank you so much. And everybody else in the chat, Fred Edward, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back. It will be Wednesday with Karen Kwiatkowski here on Drive Time. So until then, I love you all. Remember that. Peace.